Welcome back to another episode of the Wise Pelican Podcast. I'm Celia Palermo, alongside founder and CEO Geoff Lilienfeld. Geoff, how are you feeling today?
Good. It's been kind of an exciting day. Just got out of a meeting with our dev team, and we decided that we're going to build our own server. So now that we have our own office with a server room, we're like, well, shit, we got to fill this thing up.
That's big.
So it's a lot of energy. Everyone's really excited to do it because we're all geeks. And so we were looking at all the different equipment online and what we're going to buy. And so, yeah, fun day.
What prompted this decision?
Data. So in order to do power farming and all the different things we do, we buy a shit ton of data, including nationwide MLS data. So we have 95% MLS coverage. Which is hundreds of thousands of rows every day coming in from all the MLSs nationwide in order to create all those automated market stats and stuff. So we have massive databases that we're querying in all sorts of different ways. And our bill for database hosting has gotten over $10,000 a month.
Oh my gosh.
So
yeah,
we're like, we gotta walk this back a little bit.
Right.
And especially that's before we start doing all the different R&D and trying to, maximize the efficiencies on it. So
what will it take to build our own server?
It's a good question. So we're going to do a few different blades to begin with. And we're just going to get after it. Luckily, my neighbor does it for a living, neighbor/good friend. So I've already started kind of tapping into him, asking him some questions, and he's giving me some advice. So I am hopeful that if I completely screw things up or need some direction at some point, he'll help out.
You've got some good people at our disposal. I love it. Well, today I kind of want to tackle some burning questions. Questions that we hear from clients, questions that clients are searching when it comes to using Wise Pelican and direct mail marketing with real estate in particular. And so I want to start with a very basic question. How do I choose the right farm?
Yeah. So generally there's a couple pieces to this. Number one is you want to farm an area that you know. It's not only about numbers. When it comes to farming, you can get leads, but then not convert them. So classic example of that was when we first got into real estate, and Andrea, my wife, I was great at generating her leads I was doing it all by the numbers. Like, these areas have the highest turnover rate, so that's where you need to farm, and that's the only thing that we care about. Well, I got her leads, I got her listing appointments. She went on the listing appointments, and we had never owned a single family home. We'd always lived in condos.
Right.
And they start asking her about the school district over here and that. And we're like, we don't have kids.
Shoot.
We don't have anything. And we were out, right? We live in Scottsdale. We were out in East Mesa, just way out of our element.
Right.
And so number one thing is always your backyard, right? Where are people going to see you walking your dog? Where do you already have brand recognition just from being a human in that society? Right? So that's the number one place, as long as there is decent turnover. If homes aren't selling, you can't sell them, right? But the next thing that you want to look at is turnover rates. You want to find areas that have high turnover rates so that there's a decent number of sales happening for you to get in on that action. But then you also want to look at what we call the agent saturation rate, which is just, you want to make sure that you are not going to start farming an area that another agent has a super strong hold on, and they're already mailing a bunch of postcards to, and they already have more brand recognition, and now you're playing catch up.
Makes sense. With that in mind, how often should I be sending postcards?
Yeah, so the minimum is monthly. More and more, there's a lot of people talking about mailing more frequently.
Really?
As of now, I'd stick with that, other than the caveat of throw in some occasional fun things. And then also, you always want to mail your just listed, just solds. One mistake that a lot of our customers get into is they're like, okay, I have this just listed, just sold. Now I don't want to set up an automated monthly mailing, because when I do have a listing, then I want to mail that. And so that needs to replace it. You got to chill out on that a little bit. You're going to run yourself completely ragged. get your monthly campaign set up, but then always do mail just listed, just solds. And really when I say just listed, just sold, every time you have a listing that's in your farm area, so those are the postcards of what's called proof of production. That is like the key opportunity to mail a coming soon, a just listed, an open house, an under contract, and a just sold. If you mail those 5 postcards, then to everyone in your farm, you just sold 5 homes. People aren't paying that close of attention, right? They're just like, oh my God, this person is suddenly killing it. Like if you've ever had a friend on Facebook that's a real estate agent, and all of a sudden you're like, man, you're selling like all these houses all over the place. No, it's probably one home.
Right.
Like, they're just good at posting all the different things, right? Like when it comes to real estate on social media, you post about the inspection day, you post about closing day, you post about getting it under contract, right? All of these things. And now there's all these different events that occur.
What makes my postcard stand out in the mailbox when it's easy for things to get lost? How do I stand out?
Yeah, I mean, the way that you stand out in anything is you keep delivering value. You send a postcard that people are actually interested in. So the ways that we generally do it for our real estate group, the K Grant Group, and for our customers at Wise Pelican is that we add a couple things. One are the automated seller valuation. So that's a unique QR code on every postcard so that people can scan it and it gives them an instant valuation. Everybody wants to know what their home's worth, like, of course. And then the second way is adding automated market stats. So with our power farming feature, you have the ability to automatically send a postcard out to your farm every single month that actually has market stats on it that are updated for their specific community.
And what are those market stats that are featured on the Power Farm market update postcards?
Yeah, so they vary based on the templates and they can be modified. But it's active listings, sold in the last 6 months, price per square foot, average home price. There's a couple others, but that's generally the gist.
Yes, those are the main ones. How long does it take to see results from direct mail marketing if I'm just getting started?
Yeah, so if you start mailing your sphere, it's interesting because you'll start to see people sending you like photos of the postcards, right? Because they're happy for you.
Yeah.
And it's kind of cool too to see this thing that happens when you start mailing your sphere. That a lot of times, like especially in Scottsdale, so many people have their real estate licenses. Like nobody really believes that you're a full-time real estate agent. And when you start mailing postcards to your sphere, they're like, oh, wow, like I didn't realize you're actually doing this full time. And their whole concept of you and what you can deliver to them and their real estate needs completely changes. Sadly enough, my wife saw that when we first got into it with her own parents, where they had like initially thought like, oh, that's cute. Jeff got you to quit your job and now you're playing real estate agent. And,
no, like
and
I'm a full-time realtor.
Yeah. But she was new to it, right? And they didn't know it. And they just knew of all these people getting their real estate licenses. And the first time they got a postcard from her, I'm not kidding, her dad actually called and said, I'm sorry, I didn't realize that this was a real thing, essentially, that you're doing. So mailing your sphere, you can see results very, very quickly. And if you think you don't have a sphere, that's not true. Even if that means, if you're married, take your wedding invite list. You can rack these things up pretty quick. Get your parents' friends. They're ones that have watched you grow up. They want to support you. So everyone has a sphere. You just got to put it together. So your sphere you can start seeing pretty much immediately. For your colder, right, your database of your farm database, that's going to take a little while longer. So using something like an automated seller valuation where it's a unique QR code on each postcard so that homeowners can see what their home's worth, you're just going to start getting those scans very quickly on the first mailing. It's very rare that you don't get those scans on the first mailing. So now you have some leads coming in. But to really evaluate a campaign, it's going to take about 12 months because for the first 6 months, those leads are coming in, you're building some brand recognition. Ideally, you're reaching out to those leads, telling them, hey, you got an automated valuation, but I'd love to swing by your house, take a look at it, tell you what your home's worth. It's fine if you don't want to sell right now. Just that's what I do, right? So you can start to warm up those leads. And then it's really that like month 9 to 12 that it's like the faucet just turns on. And all of a sudden people start calling you, and they're not leads even. They say, I want you to list my home. And that's a completely different type of lead than you're going to get in any other sort of channel.
Patience is key. Patience is key. You mentioned it there, but what is the best way to follow up after somebody scans your QR code? How do you recommend going about it?
Yeah, so the highest impact way, if you're at a point that you have the time or you have somebody that works for you that has the time, would be you put together a CMA, right, which is a real estate term. It's a comprehensive market analysis, which essentially is a little packet that says, hey, these are all the reasons, these are the comps in your neighborhood that have derived this valuation. This is what I think your home is actually worth. So you take that, you put that together, in the most ideal manner, you go and you bring it to them.
Yes.
If you're not going to do that, if you're not comfortable with it, fine, still recommend you just do it. Then I'd say, okay, back off and drop it at their doorstep. You're not really supposed to do this, but you could also even get a FedEx envelope and drop it at the doorstep. But also FedEx it to them.
Yeah.
Mail it to them, do whatever, get it to them. Get them on the phone, email them. Right? So it's Wise Pelican, for them to actually get the valuation, they have to provide their email address. Just start a conversation. Make sure they know you don't care if they don't want to sell their home right now. Part of your service that you offer is you just wanted to let them know what their home's worth.
Love it. That's huge. That's huge. How does power farm differ from traditional farming?
Yeah, so power farming differs in a few ways. One, the ability to generate lists based on stats, right? And actually knowing turnover rates and agent saturation rates, and just generate lists so quickly. Again, it doesn't replace your backyard. But the other way is that we have these templates that are set up totally just high conversion. We know that they're good, high converting templates because we know the scans. Additionally, we automate all of the market stats into these templates so that every single month it goes out automatically, but you're still delivering value. And then finally, it's all automated, right? It's all done there for you. It's there. You have these ASV scans. You're generating leads instantly.
What's a good response rate from direct mail marketing?
Yeah, so in terms of ASV scans, generally we'll see anywhere from like 1% to 4% on the higher end, which is a lot, right? I mean, that's massive. If you think about like digital ads, 4% would be you showed 100 ads and you got 4 people to respond to it. So it's very high. But from those ASV scans, we have seen numbers as high as that. But oftentimes what I really want to bring it back to is like your return on investment,
yes.
Right? A lot of times real estate agents don't focus enough on the return on investment, and that's what matters. And so generally what I say is in year 1, just focus on getting a 3 to 4x return on investment. So if you're in a market that you get a median price point of $500,000 and a 3% commission, that's $15,000, right? So if you can sell 1 or 2 of those houses off of a farming campaign, you're in really good shape.
Yeah, that is more than paying for your entire direct mail campaign that year.
Yeah,
so.
And from there, it just keeps building on itself, right? God forbid you get a buy side on one of those, right? I mean,
how do seasonal postcards fit into my direct mail strategy? If I'm doing the monthly market stats with Power Farm, how do I fit in seasonal postcards?
Yeah, so you set up Power Farm, let those go out every month. That's your meat and potatoes of your marketing, right? Mm-hmm. It's going to keep going. It's good. You're building brand. And then kind of sprinkle in the seasonal postcards into the farm as well. And then, of course, always use seasonal postcards to send to your sphere.
We do so much more than just postcards at Wise Pelican. We also print real estate letters, we print brochures, we print signs as well. For letters in particular, how do I fit those into my direct mail strategy?
Yeah, so letters can be incredibly high converting. A lot of times we talk about that, like, the postcards are going to get you going and they're good and they're consistent. And then if you throw even just one letter in and just kind of see how it works, in certain markets, the letters all of a sudden get that like true direct response and can be incredibly high converting. So we have letters that are designed just for conversion. You don't have to write the copy. You don't have to do any of it. It's already there. You just go in, select the letter, like our postcards, kind of make your small modifications, get your brand on it. But those letters kind of similarly have a call to action on them that is, so you can include QR codes if you want on the letters, but you don't necessarily have to. A lot of times on the letters, we recommend just keeping the call to action of call, text, or email me to find out what your home's worth.
Makes sense. That kind of fits a little bit more in that space. We also offer mailing lists as well. What should I look for when building a mailing list?
Yeah, so when it comes to mailing lists, within our Power Farming program, you're able to actually select based on subdivision or neighborhood, which varies across the country what a neighborhood means. But regardless, you want to focus on areas that have high turnover rates and low competition. And the way that you can find low competition is through the metric that we created called the agent saturation rate, which actually shows you whichever agent listed the most homes in the last year, what percentage of all the listings did they get? So on our maps, we actually have it's blue for the turnover rate and red for the agent saturation rate. The higher the turnover rate, the deeper blue it gets. The lower the agent saturation rate, the deeper red it gets. So in good Wise Pelican fashion, what you're looking for is a deep purple.
As we do this every week, we are Wise Pelican. What is one piece of wisdom that you would share with our listeners this week?
Yeah, I would say in general, avoid analysis paralysis. And in the software world, we call that fucking ship it.
Just go.
Just go, right? Do not spend your life just, getting ready to get ready. Go out there today, get started, go do something.
Love it. Perfect. Any parting thoughts before we wrap up here?
No, I think, like I said, just go out there and let's get it.
Let's get it done. I love it. We are going to continue answering your frequently asked questions on future episodes, so please reach out and submit those. We would love to make sure that everyone is well-versed in their most requested topics, but thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of the Wise Pelican Podcast. Like and subscribe on YouTube and follow us on our social channels and Geoff's pages as well, and we will see you next time.
Cheers.